Morning, Spencer.
Yeah, good morning.
Got two great guests here on iFiber One News this morning from Washington State DOT, Doug Adamson and Brian Whitehouse. Good morning, guys.
Hey,
Morning.
glad to have
Thanks
us
for
along,
coming
especially on a busy day when you've got a million things with school delays and
We
things
certainly
like that.
do. We've been talking about those this morning. Get the full list on our Facebook page. We initially had you scheduled in to talk about some news that we got last week or a couple weeks ago, some new ramps and enhanced fish passages are proposed for the US 101 and the Shelton Matlock interchange, and thought even though late spring could be the start for this, important to get that information out there now. First, though, how were the roads this morning for work crews through DOT? I was coming in from Thurston County and about hitting the Thurston-Mason line. Things really changed from a heavy snow to hardly any on the roadway, but were you guys seeing a lot of stuff this morning?
Yeah. Well, first and foremost, we appreciate drivers who know their abilities first. If you're not feeling confident, don't be out on the road.
Sure.
Right? I mean, and second of all, while our crews are out working really hard, seeing a lot of bare and wet conditions, you have to keep an eye out on the road for changing road conditions, right? You just can't be on your book on tape or off in some other land. Watch the road because conditions can change pretty quickly. Pretty fortunate we haven't seen a lot of snow around here for quite some time, but our maintenance crews out in force today. If you can help them out just a little bit, give them a little bit more room, they're forced to go slower. They have to go slower in order to, one, move the snow out of the way, and two, lay down sand or de-icer on the road. And so many times, Jeff, we hear about our maintenance people where we have a slow-moving truck. Someone makes a dangerous pass and goes around the corner, and guess what? A mile later, they're on the ditch.
Yeah.
Just give us a little bit of time. Give us a break. If you give us a little bit of help, our crews are out there working as hard as they can.
Very nice.
Give yourselves a little extra time. You know, there's nowhere you need to be that it's worth risking anybody's life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we start the show promptly at 6, but if I have no
Yeah.
qualms about saying we're a little late if we need to get here on time. You know, it's important to do those kind of things.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about this upcoming work here. Shelton 101, the Matlock interchange here, some new ramps and enhanced fish passage. How did this first project come about, and thoughts on this one as one of the ways that you're looking and requiring changes for all the culverts around the state? Let's start with kind of where it first kind of came from.
Yeah, well, so WSDOT has a comprehensive project underway right now in order to remove barriers to fish. And really, culverts were built at a time years before we really truly knew the impacts for the environment. The number one job, move water, get water out of the way, okay? And that's what it does. But these were built before we really fully knew how much an impact it had on the environment. So now we're coming back and we're basically upgrading a lot of these barriers and we're removing them. So a barrier to fish is almost like a fire hose. When you have too high water flow, it's like a fish tries to swim through there and it can't do it.
Sure.
So this is one piece here in Shelton of a much broader overall effort.
Let's talk, Brian, a little bit about the project itself. What are some of the things that we're likely to see as a result of this all eventually wrapping up? How the new ramps will work and things like that.
Sure. Yeah. So I think I want to touch on three of the big project benefits that we're looking at here. The first one being the new ramps that you're talking about, both new southbound on and off ramps. So right now, the ramp configuration in the southbound direction for both the on and off is kind of a semi-loop. Drivers have expressed some concerns with that semi-loop ramp, so we're going to a more traditional style diamond interchange. Should improve efficiency, increase deceleration lengths and acceleration lengths for traffic. So drivers should see a huge benefit from the new on and off ramps.
Sure, I see what you're saying there.
Yeah.
I see that in my mind's eye. Someone coming around the corner there, and especially as you work to merge with the folks already on South 101. Then they have that kind of side lane over for the semis to give access. Okay, that is a good one for sure. What else are we going to see?
So another big benefit to this project, since Coffee Creek was deemed a fish barrier for WSDOT, and another important aspect to this project is that we're not only eliminating the WSDOT barrier, we're also eliminating a fish barrier just downstream of that that's actually a county barrier.
Okay.
So the design builder that was chosen for this project came in with an innovative idea where we actually eliminate 2 fish barriers as part of one project. So we're saving quite a bit of money by going this route.
So I know we still need to have water kind of move from one area to the other and not go over the roadways, and the culverts, as we traditionally know, are going to kind of go away. So this, though, is still going to have the movement of the water, but it's going to simulate better how it used to be before everything was put in, or?
So the best way to explain this is right now we've got 3 54-inch culverts that cross underneath 101 as part of Coffee Creek. The new proposal for this is going to eliminate the crossing under 101, and the new stream channel is going to be dug on the west side of 101 and connect into Goldsboro Creek about a half a mile upstream of where it connects in now.
Oh, wow.
So as part of the project, we'll end up abandoning those 3 culverts that currently flow under 101, and the new stream channel will flow all west of 101.
Isn't that something?
And the real benefit for that is that we won't have to dig through 101 in order to remove those barriers.
Yeah.
It would have been, and maybe Brian could talk a little bit more, but it would have been quite the extensive effort for us to be able to dig through and get to the bottom, remove the barriers, and put in a new one. We would have had to put a new bridge over 101 there at the Shelton Matlock Road. So considerable savings for the wallet. And great benefits for the environment, and a great benefit for the driver. So win-win-win.
The other one also is, as we're looking at the changes, and I'm just trying to think of how this works with the diamond interchanges. That is will be more similar to folks going northbound onto the 101. Is that kind of 1/4 of that diamond is how they'll look at the on-ramps there, so to avoid the kind of curves around? If people are trying to imagine how it looks in their mind, is that kind of the basic?
Right now, you have to slow down. There's a deceleration lane as you're coming from Mountain View and you're heading down to Shelton Matlock Road. This will have a gradual ramp that will come from right in front of the Ford dealership and then take you down directly where the park and ride is. So
Okay.
it will be a much easier, much more gradual. And that's going to be really the biggest benefit for the southbound exit.
Sure.
As you come off there. There will be some benefits for the northbound, but really the southbound exit will have the majority of the driver benefits.
And you mentioned the park and ride. Is that going to be impacted at all?
It will be, we'll have a temporary location for it. So we'll be actually building where the park and ride is. We'll have a temporary location.
Brian, what's the timeline on this? We're thinking late spring to begin the work. Is that where you guys are at right now?
Yeah, so right now we're just finishing up the environmental process. After that, we're going to go into some real estate and temporary easement acquisitions, and hopefully we're starting construction spring of 2019 with a construction completion date sometime around winter of 2020.
Okay.
Just quickly want to talk about the construction impacts for driving. We're going to be building where people aren't.
Good.
So we'll have minimal impacts for drivers. We're going to be building the new ramps, and they're not open. We'll have a temporary 2-lane road around on the Shelton Matlock Road where we build what essentially is a bridge over the creek. So we'll keep traffic moving the entire time. There'll be some impacts. We ask that people stay tuned in to this news source and online and be able to get that information when we have some of the ramp closures, but really, this is going to be a lot of work with minimal impacts on drivers.
Very nice. Doug Adamson and Brian Whitehouse from WSDOT here today talking about the new ramps and enhanced fish passages for 101 at the Shelton Matlock interchange with some late spring starts on this. Thank you for coming in this morning, guys, and talking to us a little bit about this.
We do appreciate the time, and we appreciate the coverage, and also thanks for helping out drivers this morning.
Yeah,
we
very
appreciate
nice.
that.
Very nice.